I would like to talk about the importance of a timestamp. Now let me add clarity to my definition in this moment of a timestamp. I'm meaning the actual time. People who pick up on numbers, and numbers are a thing. People can pick up on very specific numbers, 444, 111. It means something. Let me give you an example. I was doing a session on a very good friend of mine, and he and I had 3 days to prep. So 3 days before, my sleep is quite restless because the person that was going to come in and communicate with him, one of the people, was visiting me 3 days prior to the session, and it was an older brother who had passed. And I wake up at 2:16 in the morning, wide awake, and I wake up and I'm looking around my room saying, okay, so who's here right now? And I see this person pacing with anxiety in my room, and I look at the individual and I say, oh, you're connected to my friend that I have a session with in 3 days. You're very early, right? And I said, it's not the time. It's time to go. So he goes. Now we're into day 2. So now it's 2 days before. I wake up again and I see the person fidgeting in my corner. And I say, I know why you're here. I said, you're okay. You don't have anything to worry about. They go. The day before, same thing, 2:16. It was 2:16 every single morning. 2:16 happens. And they're sitting in my corner and they're getting a little panicky. And I said, you're going to be okay. I have a session with your brother tomorrow. And he says, I'm just nervous that you are going to share information that is not going to be helpful for my brother and information that might be a little scary for him. And I don't want my brother to experience that. And I had to talk to the spirit really quickly. Instead of putting them in the waiting room, I had to say, well, this is a very good friend of mine. I promise you that I will only go in with good intentions. And I only go in with good intentions anyway. So I had to put that spirit at ease. He gets put to ease. He leaves the room. When we have the session, I realize, because I couldn't see it in that moment, but I realized when I actually open the spirit door, spirit comes through, I realized that, oh, this was a suicide, And suicides are very unique. Suicides are a great opportunity for us to work on our own information. And the information that was coming through was a little dense and a little scary for the living, but also the living was doing a really good job processing the information. Now, at the very end of the experience, this is how we tap into timestamps. I asked the question, do you know what time your brother passed? And he said, well, we know that it was between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. because of the last text that was given and then when the body was found. And I know that it was 2:16. Because that was the time stamp that he continued to come into the room. Now that's not because he's trying to set his spiritual clock to say 2:16, we got to go visit chemo. That's because he's connected to that time stamp. There are so many indicators that we get from numbers and specifically with time that if we paid attention to it, you might get more information. So that's the information that I was given.